Star, I think we are. We are on now.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Matt Star. How are you?
I am doing marvelous. I appreciate you for asking.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate you coming back and spending some time with me.
I'm grateful and excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to chat.
We were just touching on, and we don't have to go down the rabbit hole, but we were
Right.
touching on what a wild ride today in particular has been. And
Mm,
so
mm,
I
mm,
am
mm.
doubly appreciative that you could take some time out. And you know what? This is going to be a break. This is going to be a nice
Right.
reprieve from the craziness.
That's right.
We're going to yes, we're going to have good vibes right
Mm,
now. We're going to talk about your 3 goals. We had first talked about 60 days ago.
mhm.
And now we're back to see how the last 60 days have gone, and they fly by so fast.
Oh my word. You're telling me, sister.
It's
You're telling me. My word, yes. That is,
it
yeah.
is flying.
It's been, yeah, this year. I mean, my word, we're halfway through July, more than halfway at this point. Like,
Yeah.
what?
What
How did
happened?
we get here?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's been a fun one. This year has been an uphill climb that I've enjoyed more than any other in my life. It's been incredible.
Ooh.
It's been incredible.
Ooh, I like that. Yes. You know what? So much of that has to do with the mindset part of it, right? Because
Mindset.
other people could look at that. You could have looked at that 5 years ago. Okay, I'm going uphill. This rock, this boulder that I am pushing is killing me. But no, this is like, yeah,
That's right. This
because
is
I
what I
am
was born
making
for.
progress.
That's
I'm
right.
getting better every inch.
It'd be really hard for me to sit here and complain because these are the problems that I pray for. I prayed for these problems, so here I am dealing with them, and I'm grateful that I've been put in the position to help a lot of people. And we're in a community where our mentor built the foundation of this being a servant leader. And
Yeah.
everything I do now is looking to mimic how Pace has built his empire. And that's leading from the front, knowing when to go to the back,
Yeah.
being there for people. A guy who does 24-hour Zooms, 16-hour Zooms at the foundation of the community, that's what I'm looking to mimic to the best of my ability. I mean, I'm no Pace, but God willing, I can get somewhere there.
We can strive to be.
Amen. Amen.
I love it. Yes. You know what? It's a prime example of how it really does start from the top down,
Very
right?
much.
When you're around the right people, um, it inspires you, it motivates you, it gives you permission.
That's a good word. Yes,
The
permission.
things
Yes.
that you didn't think you could do or that weren't for you. Yeah, yeah,
Doors open.
it's amazing. Yes. So you mentioned servant leader. That was another thing you mentioned last time too, to give with no expectations,
Amen.
gratitude, right?
Mm,
Providing the tools and the resources. And one of your goals, I think your first goal had to do with helping your team get their first deal. How is it going?
It's going as well as it could be. Last month in June, we had 5 people on our team have their first deal ever. So we had 5 closings, 5 new students, right? That
Woo!
is a big focus for our team. What we talk about almost every day during our morning gratitude meeting is the idea that the money that we make is a byproduct of the value we can bring to our communities. And it's starting to show. We're building out systems and processes and solutions to the marketplace, and yeah, it couldn't be going better. All I can say is, we've got 5 deals last month. We've got a couple on the way this month with new students who are getting their first deal. We brought on a few more new students since you and I last spoke. So now they're going through my trainings and all the things. And it's incredibly inspiring to work with people who are of the same cloth. I'm grateful to say that the team that I work with, vibe attracts your tribe, right? Pace says that all.
Yes.
It's been super real to see that people are taking on roles as leaders without me even saying things at this point. Like we have one guy on our team who's gone from, I've never done a deal, but I've been in the community for a year and I've been on 2 to 3 other teams to, I'm now leading the new people on our team and we have people in a breakout room right now, role playing with each other. and now he's able to help others because the glass ceiling above his head was removed because now he knows what he's doing. He feels confident.
Yes.
And, in sales, a lot of the times we're talking about objection handling and all these different other strategies, all these tactics. And what I've come to realize, the most valuable and the most pivotal thing when it comes to sales is conviction. And the only way that a person can really be convicted in the solution that they're providing is if they've been able to actually accomplish it. So for those 5 people that got those first closings last month, now in July, they are just carrying themselves with a new energy, with a new level of like motivation. And it comes from not how much money they made, but the fact that it's real. And there's a point for every person in our community where when you do your first deal, your first 2 deals, 5 deals, it's like, holy cow, I am worthy. I am capable. I did it. And that to me is the reason why I do what I do, man. It's been really fun. It's been really
fun. Talk about a confidence booster, right?
Oh my word. I mean, case study example. The guy who I'm talking about, his name is Jafe. Jafe, he posted it into our Facebook group in our community. Did my first deal, so grateful. This is literally changing my life. He has siding that he has to get fixed on his home, all these other expenses that caught him off guard. So now he's able to facilitate for his family. In that same sense, now he's given a platform. So when he made that post, Pace's team reached out to them. They said, we'd love to have you on the podcast. So now he's going to be on Pace's podcast talking about his first deal and his experience. And it's just amazing to see people flourish within the business, especially when that same person did all the work, did all the effort, and without, whatever they needed, they had something missing. And I'm grateful to say that the team that we've built has a support system, a culture, and a family that empowers one another. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I think part of this first goal was to have at least 5 deals a month. So you hit it. You guys did it. That is just awesome.
It feels amazing. It feels amazing. Yes. And our vision has grown so much. I'm grateful to say I have a business partner. His name's Carlos, and he got me into the Owners Club program with him. And when I went to the first spring immersion events that just happened like a month ago, I was around so many high-level people in our community. And although I have a big picture vision, I shared with you about buytherate.com. After leaving that event, I sat down, this whiteboard specifically, and I just redrew my entire vision, made it so much bigger. And we've been taking action on it. And it's incredibly inspiring. It's a lot more than a real estate wholesale business. The vision is, here's the case study. I have a buddy. He just graduated from Pepperdine with an MBA. He's right out of college. He's going to be making $160,000 a year, which is freaking great money. But here's the problem. I live in Los Angeles, and so does he. And in Los Angeles, with where current financing is and where prices are, my buddy can maybe get a shack.
Yeah.
I find that he's so unfair. He's 27 years old. He's been busting his butt, got an education, did all the things, and yet he can't afford his own primary home.
Yep.
And so affordability is the problem. And our company, we're building out a platform called buytherate.com. And that's really it right there. We're looking at, my friend is that person who I want to help get into his first home. And what we do with creative finance allows opportunities for so many people to get into homeownership. We see this trend. I think that we're going into a 2-class society. We've got landlords and renters, the middle class basically eliminated. And over the next 10 years, we can expect that they're gone. So the only way we can empower our communities is by putting people with property. That's the one thing nobody can take away from you. I've got a piece of land to my name. So that's a huge part of my vision. And then how it's expanded outside of providing primary residences for families and homeowners. The second thing we're doing is we're building out fractional ownership. So what we want to do is, let's say, you, Steph, you wanted to, let's say you live in California and you can't afford to own a rental property in California, but you want to invest, and you may not have the expertise, you may not have the time, you may not have the resources, not the teams, whatever. So what we're going to be doing is, as a team, our company is going to continue to buy deals, the ones that we feel stand out and fit our portfolio needs. We're going to be working with a sub-2 student. We're going to have them bring in, that private money. They're going to be our partner probably for about a 6 to 8 month period. That's where we stabilize the assets, set it up, and then we're going to bring it live to buytherate.com. And then on buytherate.com, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in families that don't have those experiences, don't have the assets, don't have the resources, and allow them the opportunity to own 25% of a piece of real estate. So every deal that we do now is also going to be an opportunity for somebody else to plant a seed for their financial future. So it's a very empowering vision. And I have a really big vision for what we're going to do in this market. I think
I
that there's
love this. Yes. Okay. Okay. So this kind of makes me think about what one of your other goals was, which you were talking about, like starting a fund, and you wanted to, you were looking at self storage.
yes. So we're
Okay.
all of that is still on the table.
Okay.
What we've decided is the portfolio of notes that we're going to develop with buytherate.com will get us
Yes.
into the self-storage assets. That's still a part of the vision. Uh, but what we did is we decided to put the fund of funds on hold. We want to build a brand. We want to build a reputation. We started a YouTube channel called Path to Own. So the vision now is to first build a foundation and audience of people who are interested in real estate but don't have the bandwidth, whether it's fiscal or mental, whatever reason.
Right.
And we're going to get people into their first homes. We're going to get people into their first investment. And then the third vertical is going to be invest with us. And, you get your guaranteed rate of return. So that's going to be something that we're working on. But we decided to kick that down the can so that we can focus on two things at once. Because I'm sure you've heard the term jack of all trade, master of none, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't want to be that person. I want to first maximize that opportunity. And so as we've been taking action and building out our homestead pipeline, what we found to be very valuable is working with property managers. We've started to establish relationships with credit repair agencies, with mortgage lenders. And, all of these people are starting to bring us humans, families that want to own property. And for whatever reason, they can't get into it. And it's incredibly fruitful to talk to these families and know that they're so hungry for home ownership. And yet, for whatever reason, they couldn't get in. And knowing that we can bridge that gap is a surreal feeling to me.
Oh my gosh. That is so awesome. Okay. So what is your podcast again? So that we can show.
So our YouTube channel is
YouTube.
Path to Own. We're building it out now. The vision behind it is, again, we're trying to create multiple verticals where we can bring in an audience. So social media is one, relationships and realtors and partners are the other, and everything is going to funnel to buytherate.com. That is the end all be all vision for me. And I have to share this. So Pace is building out the Afterpay program. And I have to say that as he was building it out, I felt a little bit demoralized because I'm like, holy cow, I've been working on this for so long. And now Pace is doing it, but Pace has the team and audience and all the things. But I realized that the reason why Pace is working on this program is because affordability is the biggest problem in the country. And Pace alone can't do it. So I believe that there's room for so many more people. The reason why I feel comfortable sharing everything about my vision is because I think that there could be another 10 investors, 20 investors doing exactly what I do and be able to bear fruit. So I think there's a need for all of us, and there's a huge need. There's a huge need.
Yes. I have to tell you, it's funny that you say that because I felt the exact same way when he was talking about co-living and pad split. I'm like, dude, this is all I've been talking about. This is all my videos, all of the podcasts that I've been doing. And then I was like, wait a minute. There's plenty. Like, this is a huge problem we all have to feel. I think that goes back to we've grown up with the scarcity mindset. And it's like we kind of default to that sometimes, and we got to reset and say, wait a minute, no, abundance. We all need to help with this.
Amen.
Pace can't solve it by himself. You can't solve it by yourself. I can't, right? We all have to do it together. There's plenty to go around.
And again, the entire empire was built on collaboration over competition. So why would we change the formula now?
Exactly. Yes. So this is awesome. Okay, so you were pivoting out. This was part of like your second goal, I think, pivoting out of assignment as a primary exit, and really focusing on the end buyers having more control. Right. So that's still aligned with your vision here, right? Because you're looking to help people get their homes. You're helping people to look to invest for their first time. And you're going to continue assigning to sub 2 community where that can work.
Well, so absolutely. I would love to continue to sell deals to our community. But blatant honesty, for every 3 deals I can contract, there's maybe 1 that actually fits an investor. The reality is that I target low equity. That's the niche. That's what I taught for up 2 semesters, right? So low equity properties are over leveraged homes. So generally speaking, these are not cash producing assets. And there are investors in our community that are buying for appreciation, depreciation,
Right.
loan pay down, all those things. But generally speaking, we're looking for a cash on cash return, right? We're raising
Yeah.
private money, so it makes sense. Now, when I look at a homestead buyer and they see a 2021 built home, they're not considering the rent rate. They're not considering the IRR or the cash on cash. They want a place to live. So if I can provide people housing for my own selfish reasons, it helps me do more deals because
Yeah.
I can sell to the best and highest use, a homestead end user, a tenant
Absolutely.
buyer. And at the same time, I'm giving them exactly what they need. So, of
Yeah.
course, I'd love to do deals with our community, but I truly see that the deals that I'll be doing with our community are more for a private money partner and lender basis for the fractional ownership
Okay.
rather than necessarily assignments. But I will say our last two deals we did assign to our community. So,
There you
we're trying
go.
in that direction. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I love this. So you have a grander vision now that
Very
you're
much.
working on,
Yes.
and the things that we've spoken about fit very well. 2 months ago, all of the things, your goals, they fit very well with what you're doing now. It just sounds like maybe the only part of that original plan or goal was the fund of funds thing that you're just pausing for now. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the fractional ownership play, it's like, commercial real estate, how do people buy? For the
Yeah.
most part, it's syndications, right? So I'm taking the
Right.
syndication model that I had experience with when I was in commercial, and I'm bringing it to residential real estate and opening the floodgates to who can be in it. And I think that in itself is going to require me and my team's full potential to bring it to fruition. And then the fund of funds, we're looking at it as a vertical for once we have an audience and once we have people who are, like us, trust us, know us, now they can start giving us money for larger investments and things of that nature. But I
Right.
I think that that'll always be there. And there's always, crowdfunding and guys like Grant Cardone and Pace has a fund and everybody has a fund. I think funds are amazing, but
Yeah.
I want to have direct impact. I want that
Right.
like I'm an empath. I love like having these types of conversations. I just convey like I feel your emotions. I feel your
Yes.
smile. And
Yeah.
uh, the impact that I've had on families that have been able to buy deals from me and just live in the home has
Yeah.
made me feel tenfold better than when I sell to an investor. I love
Yeah.
my investors. I love my friends.
I know. I get it. Right.
These are people I talk to every day, but it's a different level of impact I can have. And
Yes.
knowing the problem in the market of real estate, there's just no better way to go about it in my shoes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mentioned your team.
Yes.
So I think part of that plan was that you're bringing the team with you
Everywhere.
and they're going to get some cash flow.
Oh my word. So I'll give you a little bit more on the fractional.
Yes.
Once we start buying properties, we're not getting assignment fees. So the people on my team who are, my acquisitions, my prospecting team, they're not going to be making money, but we're going to do one better. They're going to be owning assets with us, right? So when I buy a deal, let's say entry fee is $30,000. I'm going to find a private money lender. He's going to lend the deal. We're going to gap fund it, stabilize the asset. Then we're going to bring in 3 families at $10,000 a piece. That's going to pay off the private money lender. So now those are our partners in the deal. But if we get for $10,000, 25% equity, there's a 25% remainder there. And that's going to be for us as the GP relative to our LPs. And our acquisitions person who was a part of the deal is going to retain ownership with us. So now my team is going to be owning assets with us. For the homestead exits that we have, they're going to be a lien lord with us. So we're going to have lien lords and landlords. And there's a multitude of people on my team. There's people in their late 60s, not 70s. And there's people that are a couple years younger than me in their early 20s. I'm 24. And all of the above. The goal is all of us are going to own real estate together, whether that's notes or whether that's physical assets. And it's just really exciting. I've been really blessed to say that the people that have joined my team are just incredible human beings, super down to earth and super willing. And look, I'll be honest, I don't have it all figured out. Whenever I hire somebody, the first thing I tell them is like, I haven't done the most amount of deals in the community. I'm not the most tenured. I'm not the most experienced, but I'm going to be in the trenches on Zoom with you all day, every day, figuring this out together. And through that type of communication, I found people that just vibe incredibly with me. And it's been an honor. Yes.
Yes. Well, you know what? That honesty, that's the foundation of every relationship, right? Is you don't necessarily have to be the expert or the best. You just have to be transparent about it, what you do know, and willing to share it, right? And for every person that you're sharing your experience with, that you're sharing your skills with, these are people that are not close to what you have, right? So that's the whole point. That's something that was a real shift for me last year. I was on I did one of the challenges with Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, right? They were talking about when you're mentoring people, you're not trying to mentor somebody that's at your same level or that's higher than you. They've already got the same information or better. What you're trying to do is help the person that's a week behind you, 2 weeks behind you, a month behind you, 3 years behind you, right? Because you're ahead of them at least by that much. And that's what they're looking for.
Absolutely. We build people up.
Exactly. And what I think is just amazing is the fact that you're building into this whole plan a way to bring everybody with you, right? That is huge. Absolutely huge. I love that. So one other thing that just came to my mind. You said at the tail end of the last meetup that we had, you needed an integrator, and you just mentioned, I think right before we went on, about how you're kind of half integrating this.
I am an absolute makeshift integrator.
Just
a makeshift integrator just to survive. I do have people on my team who are in acquisitions who have taken on like fractional projects with me where we're working on certain things and workflows and systems.
Okay.
I haven't found that right person to be a partner as an integrator.
Okay.
But what I will say is that things are still trending in the right direction. And right now, I've more than any time before in my life, or at least in this business, have become the bottleneck more and more and more. I feel that me wearing as many hats as I do is the limiting factor to our ability to grow. So we've opened up the door now to new hiring and to new relationships. And our Dispo team, they're not focused on people's buy boxes per se, but just networking, meeting people, finding people, how we can serve them. And in that, I think that we're going to find the exact people that we need in our business. And it's just going to keep going. It's
yes.
Pray to God. I have full faith that the trajectory has been blessed. And as long as the intentions are pure and the focus is not money, but rather the value we can bring to people, how could we go wrong? How could we go wrong?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's a shift in itself as well. I actually just had a podcast with my son where we were talking about, rather than trying to look for the job or the way to make money, think about where you can add value to somebody, right? How can you add value? Because that is what's going to determine what you can receive as well, right? Like if you put that ceiling low, then that's where you're going to stop, right? So, and then how much impact can you have on somebody if you're limiting yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
self-imposed, we tend to do that. Even I tend to, everyone does that, like self-imposed limitations. We create like a maximum threshold of what we think we can accomplish based on what we've been exposed to. But I think that's the power of having these types of conversations and networking with other people and being in, smaller night communities like Owners Club, for example, is that it gives me a perspective shift. I get to see people who are 20 years ahead of me and see how they communicate, see how they deal with challenges and problems, and see how they don't let their feelings translate to how they operate. Being able to at that wavelength is so important. Grounded. And I've been working on new habits. Every morning now I go outside, I get grounded because I wake up, sometimes I'm anxious. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so many things to do and this many phone calls and meetings. And then I take a second and I remind myself, like, I get to do this, not I have to do this. I chose these things, right? And Pace had made a post yesterday. I just need to read this quote to you. I'm sure you saw it, but he said, do not be upset when your plate is full, when your goal was to eat. And like that to me,
I saw that.
Like, come on.
Gold.
Gold. And maintaining that type of mindset, I mean, who could complain, man? I'm literally living my dream life. Glory to God.
Yes. Yes. I know. That's it. That's exactly it. I think that that's just part of human nature, is that there's this struggle between the the more basic kind of animalistic side of us, right? Because
Yeah.
we are mammals. We
Yeah.
have this kind of more basic part of us that
Absolutely.
first thing is scarcity mindset and complaining about all the troubles and problems and what seeing the missing tile instead of
Mm-hmm.
seeing all the things you do have, right? There's all of that basic part of it. And then there's the higher part of ourselves, the
Yes.
more empowered,
Yes.
enlightened, the
Yes.
best part of us that we can be,
Yes.
that is abundance and
Yes.
gratitude and adding value to people. And it's we're constantly
In that
going back and forth.
and you know, not everybody is a Christian per se, but I think the concept behind carrying your cross translates in all walks. You wake up every morning and you have a fresh opportunity to be the best version of yourself and carry your burdens with dignity and take on those burdens with pride, and not the kind of pride in what I can do, but what I can do for others. And I think that conveys,
Yeah.
I mean, gratitude, I think that's the solution to everything. I mean,
Oh
literally
yeah.
everything. There is not, I mean, we've all heard the, Tony Robbins quotes and whatnot, where I can't physically be anxious, sad, mad, or any of those feelings if I'm grateful at the same time. So if I can stay in that place of gratitude, I'm closer to that higher self that you were just conveying and talking about. That's it, man. Grateful. I'm grateful to be on this Zoom with you. I'm grateful for the seeds that you're planting in my heart and how excited I am to talk to you again in another 60, 90 days and tell you about all the great things we're doing. And it's just amazing. I'm grateful.
Totally do that. I would love to do that. That would be awesome. I love it. Great idea.
Lock it in.
Yeah. You know what? There's years ago I found this book, and I'll shut up in a minute, I promise. It just, you triggered something with me with the gratitude. Dennis Prager wrote a book many years ago called Happiness is a Serious Problem. And that is one of the things that he talked about was, if you take a moment to think about what you have to be grateful for, you're not complaining, you're not upset, you're not all of the other things you would be otherwise, basically, because your focus is now shifted to what you do have.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Instead of what you don't have. And what is that? The thought becomes action part. I've heard that somewhere. So the same thing, like if you're focusing, whatever you're focusing on, that's what you're going to get. If you're focusing on the positive things and on what you have to be grateful for and what you're going to have because of what you're doing, then that's what your brain looks for.
Yes.
You actually start seeing all of the things
100%.
that go with that. Your brain is like, oh, this is what I need to find now. I think I heard Mel Robbins talk about that in one of her books, the High Five Habit, I think it was. There's like science behind this, where whatever you're thinking of is actually now what your brain is going to go search for to prove you right.
Yep. It's like the whole, I saw a red car and now I see red cars everywhere,
right? Exactly. I know. Yep, exactly. So I love this. I could talk to you all day. I really could. I love this. I love the energy. Like, this is exactly what I needed today. So I really appreciate it.
Honestly, me too. Prior to the Zoom, I told you, it's been a rough one for me today, and you've put a smile on my face. You've lit me up. So Stephanie, I'm always grateful to talk to you.
Thank you. Okay, don't make me cry. I love it. Okay, I see you have Instagram, House Huncho. I almost said Honcho. I don't know why. House Huncho.
Yeah.
And that's the best way everybody can reach you.
Yeah, feel free. Hit me up on Instagram anytime. I'm available. If it's real estate related, you need help with deals, underwriting, or all the things, shoot me a text directly. Best number to reach me. I'm going to say it slowly because I'm always caffeinated, so I know I speak fast. 818-564-9670. That's my personal cell phone number, 818-564-9670. So Anybody has questions, concerns, or feelings, please hit me up. I'm game.
Love it. Well, thank you for joining me. And I'm going to totally take you up on that. In another 90 days, I'm going to reach out.
I'm waiting on it. I'll be on the lookout for the invitation. Good deal.
Okay. You're on. All right. Take care.
Likewise.